What is up, guys? Thank you for tuning in once again. This is JP Palomo, and this is my Infinite Universe podcast. So, first of all, today I want to start out by just saying thank you to everybody that has shown support and that has been commenting me or messaging me directly on my new podcast. I do have a few people that want to come on the show with me, so that's exciting. I have at least three or four right now that we just gotta set up some times, and we're gonna be doing a cool episode and just talking about what the topics are. You know, just the universe, the planets, the galaxies, moons, our solar system, life in general. A lot of cool questions that are not answered, and who knows if we'll ever be able to answer them, but today I wanted to talk about comets and asteroids and meteorites. So it's going to be a fairly shorter episode. I'm not sure. I got this article from spacefacts.com, and it's a pretty cool website if you want to check it out. And it just kind of just goes over all these cool facts about just all the different planets, Mars, and it's got solar system, the galaxies. It's got different galaxies on here you can click, and it just gives you cool facts. So these are just facts from this article. So first of all, I remember when I was, oh man, I want to say I was maybe 8, 9, maybe 10. It's a long time ago, but I remember there was a year. I remember there was a comet that was near our solar system or near Earth. I'm not sure what it was, but I remember for at least a month it was you could see it just without even a telescope. I remember going outside for days, and every night you'd look up and there's this like greenish star, and then it had a tail behind it, and then I've never seen one after that, and that was years and years ago. I wish, I know that comets come and go, but I do remember that one clearly because the tail was just how you see in pictures, and it was so magical and celestial. So, comet facts. What is a comet? A comet is a very small solar system body made mostly of ices mixed with smaller amounts of dust and rock. Most comets are no longer than a few kilometers across. The main body of a comet is called the nucleus, and it can contain water, methane, nitrogen, and other ices. When a comet is heated by the sun, its ices begin to sublimate, similar to the way dry ice fizzes when you leave it in sunlight. The mixture of ice crystals and dust blows away from the comet nucleus in the solar wind, creating a pair of tails. The dust tail is what we normally see when we view comets from Earth. So that's what I was saying, that when I saw that comet, you could see this tails behind it, and it was super cool. Um, a plasma tail also forms when molecules of gas are excited I'm sorry, by interaction with the solar wind. The tail is not normally seen with the naked eye, but can be imaged. Comets normally orbit the sun and have their origins in the Oort cloud and Kuiper belt regions of the outer solar system. So, a couple cool facts about comets. There are many misconceptions about comets, which are simply pieces of solar system ices traveling in orbit around the sun. These are some of the most fascinating and true facts about comets. 1. The nucleus of a comet is made of ice and can be as small as a few meters across to giant boulders a few kilometers across. 2. The closest point in a comet's orbit to the sun is called perihelion. The most distant point is called the aphelion. As the comet gets closer to the sun, it begins to experience heat. That causes some of its ices to sublimate. If the ice is close to the comet's surface, it may form a small jet of material spewing out of the comet like a mini geyser. Material streams from comets and populates the comet's orbit. If Earth or another planet happens to move through that stream, those particles fall to Earth as meteor showers. As the comet gets close to the sun, it loses some of its mass due to the sublimation. If a comet goes around enough times, it will eventually break up. Comets also break up if they come too close to the sun or another planet in their orbits. Comets are usually made of frozen water and super cold methane, ammonia, and carbon dioxide ices. Those are mixed with rock, dust, and other metallic bits of solar system debris. Comets have two tails, a dust tail, which you can see with the naked eye, and a plasma tail, which is easily photographed but difficult to see with our eyes. Comet orbits are usually elliptical. Many comets formed in the Oort cloud or Kuiper belts, two of the outermost regions of the solar system. Comets are not spaceships or alien bases. They are fascinating bits of solar system material that date back to the formation of the sun and planets. So, comet naming. Comets come in several categories. The most common are periodic or non-periodic. In the past, comets were named for their discoverers, such as Comet Halley for Sir Edmund Halley. In modern times, comet names are governed by rules set forth by the International Astronomical Union, or IAU. A comet is given an official designation and can also be identified by the last names of up to 3 independent discoverers. Here's how it works. Once a comet has been confirmed, the following naming rules are followed. First, if the comet is a periodic comet, then it is indicated with a P, followed by the year of its discovery, a letter indicating the half month in which it was discovered, followed by a number indicating its order of discovery. So, for example, the second periodic comet found in the first half of January 2015 would be called P2015A2. That's a lot of stuff. I mean, I know you got to be really smart into astronomy to understand some of these things, but I mean, that right there is fairly easy as far as how that works, the comet naming. So a non-periodic comet would be indicated with a C, followed by the year of its discovery, a letter indicating the half month in which it was discovered, followed by a number indicating its order of discovery. If a comet is independently discovered by 3 people named Smith, Jones, and Peterson, it could also be called Comet Smith-Jones-Peterson, in addition to its formal designation. Today, many comets are found through automated instrument searches, and so the formal designations are most commonly used. Some famous comets. Well-known comets include the non-periodic comets Hale-Bopp, C 1995-01, Hyakutake, C 1996 B2, and McNaught, C 2006 P1, and Lovejoy, C 2011 W3. These flared brightly in our skies and then faded into obscurity. In addition, Comet Shoemaker-Levy 9, D 1993 F2, was spotted after it had broken up after a close call with Jupiter. The D in its proper designation means it has appeared or is determined to no longer exist. More than a year later, the pieces of the comet crashed into Jupiter. The periodic comet Halley, 1P Halley, is the most famous in history. It returns to the inner solar system once every 76 years. Other well-known periodic comets include 2P Encke, which appears every 3.3 years, and 9P Tempel 2, which was visited by the Deep Impact and Stardust probes and makes perihelion around the sun every 5.5 years. Wow, those are some cool facts if you're into space, which I hope if you're listening to this podcast, you're just as crazy about space as I am and all the cool celestial bodies and everything else that goes along with it. So now we're going to discuss what an asteroid is, which is different than a comet. An asteroid are small rocky solar system bodies that populate interplanetary space out to the orbit of Jupiter. There are millions of them, and they are often grouped by their composition. The planetary science community refers to them as minor planets, a general term applied to solar system bodies smaller than moons. Asteroids are mainly made of materials left over from the formation of the inner solar system worlds. Most of them orbit the Sun between Mars and Jupiter, although there are groups of them that orbit closer. Asteroids come in three composition classes. C types, chondrites, are made of clay and silicate rocks. S types are the so-called stony asteroids and are made mostly of silicate rocks and nickel-iron mixtures. M types are metallic nickel-iron. These categories indicate how far from the Sun they formed in the early solar system. So, cool facts about asteroids. Asteroids are clues to the formation of the rocky planets of our solar system. The objects we see today are left over from a time when the solar system formed 4.5 billion years ago. There are a lot of these leftovers out there. So, some cool facts about them. Asteroids aren't the only things that hit Earth. Each day, more than 100 tons of material from asteroids and comets falls toward Earth. Most of it is destroyed by friction as it passes through our atmosphere. If something does hit the ground, it is known as a meteorite. While asteroids' impacts were more common in the past, they aren't as frequent today. An asteroid impact some 65 million years ago contributed to the extinction of the dinosaurs. It was one of several factors that affected all life on Earth at that time. Earth suffers an impact from an object the size of a football field about once every 2,000 years. A car-sized meteoroid, a piece of asteroid, falls into Earth's atmosphere about once a year. The result is a beautiful fireball, but the meteoroid usually burns up before reaching the ground. Asteroids are rich in precious metals and other metals as well as water. Some asteroids are actually blown out comets. The ices are gone and all that's left is the rocky material. Some asteroids have moons of their own. That's kind of crazy. Most asteroids orbit the Sun in the asteroid belt, which lies between Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids are also referred to as minor planets or planetoids. All right, so near Earth asteroids and impacts. Earth and the other planets formed as objects in the early system smacked together and made larger worlds. The process of collision and impact continues to this day, although with smaller objects, since all the larger ones became the planets we know. Asteroids continue to come close to Earth in their orbits. They are called near-Earth objects, NEOs, or potentially hazardous asteroids, PHAs. If orbital conditions are right, it's possible that an NEO could crash to Earth's surface. Depending on the size of the impactor, the damage to our planet and us could range from very little to catastrophic. A small incoming object would likely break up in our atmosphere. A larger one could rain very large pieces down on the surface or into the oceans. There are groups of astronomers searching out and mapping the positions of these NEOs in order to predict possible impact weeks, months, or years in advance. Several organizations are making plans in case something should hit and cause damage. The chances of something hitting Earth are very small, but also depend on the size and orbit of the object. Some of the famous asteroids. The best known asteroids are 1 Ceres, which is 952 kilometers across. That is huge. 2 is Pallas, which with a diameter of 544 kilometers. And 4 Vesta, roughly 580 kilometers across. These are rocky minor planets, and astronomers have observed them since the 1800s. Ceres is a differentiated asteroid. That means it has a rocky core and an icy outer crust. it might have an internal ocean. Pallas has a very irregular shape and may be what's left of an early protoplanet. Vesta is very bright and is likely the leftover of a rocky protoplanet. So there you have it. Those are some facts about asteroids. Now we're going to go to meteorites. I always see these shooting stars, which are the meteorites. Those are pretty cool. Some of them are they're a lot brighter than others. I guess they all depend on the size, like they said. So, Earth is bombarded with millions of tons of space material each day. Most of the objects vaporize in our atmosphere, but some of the larger pieces, from pebbles to boulder-sized rocks, actually fall to the ground. Most of the objects come from asteroids, which are objects made of various types of rock and have existed since the origin of the solar system. A small rocky or metallic chunk of material that travels through space is called a meteoroid. Very small meteoroids, the size of dust, are often referred to as micrometeoroids or space dust. These fragments may also be leftover comet debris or ejected in collisions between other solar system bodies, such as the Moon or Mars. As the meteoroid travels through our atmosphere, it is heated by friction that causes it to glow. And if this happens at night, we see a long streak of light known as a meteor. If the object survives the trip and falls to Earth's surface, it is known as a meteorite. Many of these fall into the ocean, since about 71% of Earth's surface is covered by water. The rest fall on land, where they await discovery by meteorite hunters. Facts about meteorites. Millions of meteoroids travel through Earth's atmosphere each day. When a meteor encounters our atmosphere and is vaporized, it leaves behind a trail. That burning meteoroid is called a meteor. The appearance of a number of meteors occurring in the same part of the sky over a period of time is called a meteor shower. Many meteor showers are associated with comets, which leave behind debris as they orbit through the solar system. Showers occur when Earth's orbit crosses the path of a comet's orbit. Most meteorites are one of three types: stony, stony iron, or iron. These compositions tell us where the meteor existed in its parent body. An iron or stony iron was close to the core of an asteroid, while a stony object was closer to the surface. Types of meteorites. Meteorites are fragments of asteroids that fall to ground on Earth. Scientists classify these objects according to their chemical makeup, their isotopic compositions, and their mineralogy. Beyond those classifications, meteorites are also sorted as stony, metallic, and mixtures. Those three classes can be divided even further. For example, Pallasite meteorites are a class of stony iron meteorites that are made mostly of nickel and iron, but also contain olivine crystals, a commonly found crystal on Earth. Some famous meteorites. Over the course of Earth's history, many meteorites, large and small, have fallen to our planet's surface. The most famous are the Elend, the Fukang, Huoba, and the William Et meteorite. The Elend meteorite fell to Earth in a fireball on February 8, 1969. It was originally about the size of a car, and pieces were strewn across the Mexican state of Chihuahua. It has become one of the most studied meteorites of all time, and is an excellent example of a carbonaceous chondrite. These types of meteorites date back to the formation of the sun and planets, and are among the most primitive solar system materials around. They are made mostly of silicates, oxides, sulfides, water, organic compounds, and various minerals. The Fukang meteorite is one of the best examples of a pallasite, a type of stony iron meteorite. Because of its large gem-like olivine crystals, pieces of this meteorite are much in demand by collectors. The Huoba meteorite was found in Namibia in Africa. It is a very large 60-ton rock, which makes it nearly impossible to move. It has been declared a national monument in Namibia, and is one of the rare meteorites that is also part of a tourist site. Meteorite experts think Hoban fell about 80,000 years ago. It is mostly iron with some nickel and traces of other elements. The Willamette meteorite weighs 15.5 tons and is the largest ever found in the United States. Super cool facts. I hope you guys found this podcast to be rather educational, which is my goal to hopefully make a following of people that are interested in astronomy and space, and we can all just learn from each other. Feel free to contact me on Facebook. I am JP Palomo. Instagram, you could find me on Infinite Universe Podcast. And yeah, feel free to message me. I'm on Twitter as well, Infinite Universe Podcast. Message me, and if you want to join, if you have some questions that you want me to ask, feel free. I look forward to sharing another episode very soon with you guys. For now, that is it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'm out.